Many people who see wild dogs hunt can't believe what they see. The way they eat their prey live and disembowel them in no time traumatizes viewers. I guess you must get used to it. However, if you like watching wild dogs in action, you're at the right place as we count down 13 wildest cruel hunting moments of wild dogs. Number 13. Dowel dog versus cow. These dowels are trying to isolate a cow because it's time for lunch. Usually, they target one of the weaker or smaller cows, and that's what they're doing. They find a calf with his mom, and mom tries to fend them off. When mom and her calf run off, the dogs follow right behind, and they eventually take the calf down. Cows are vulnerable to such attacks, and they're not well equipped to attack another animal. This pit bull attacks a cow, and he gets right under the cow and tries to bite it. Another cow comes to the rescue and attacks the dog, but the dog is stubborn and bites the neck of the second cow. Meanwhile, two men try to separate the cows from the dog, but this dog is unstoppable. One man even manages to grab the dog, only to lose him again. The men finally remove the dog from this mess after a long and tough battle. I can't believe how hard-headed this dog was. A real brat. Number 12. Dingo versus deer. These dingoes attack this deer from behind and use a hyena tactic, biting at the animal's behind, weakening it slowly. The dingoes constantly target the animal's softer, more susceptible body parts until it falls to the ground, and that's when they begin the destruction process. The animal is eaten alive by the dingoes as they tear chunks of meat from its posterior. I guess no matter what part of the world wild dogs are from, they all instilled the fear of God in their victims. Dingoes are Australia's greatest carnivores, taking down a diverse range of prey. They are nocturnal hunters. Depending on the size of the prey, dingoes may hunt alone or in groups of up to 8. The dingo is a generalist predator, meaning it will comb the terrain for food and eat anything it comes across. These dingoes have taken down a deer and begin to eat it alive. I guess the deer is too big for them to choke it, so they decide to start eating it, improvising as they go along. Eventually, the deer will succumb to its injuries. They tear the skin off and proceed to disembowel the deer, and that's the end of that. The dingoes are on the hunt, and they have spotted a deer. The deer jumps into the water and takes off, but one dingo pursues the deer and trails it not far behind. The deer is not very big, so it's quite easy for the dingo to grab it and bring it back to shore, where the entire pack waits for dinner to be served. I guess this dingo gets a trophy for being the most valuable player. Number 11. Wild dogs versus warthog. Wild dogs are ruthless. These wild dogs are dismembering this poor warthog alive, biting and eating it from every angle. No mercy, no pity, the wild dog declares. The warthog is in pain as they tear him to shreds, but they need to eat, and the warthog is prime in this savage place. Even though warthogs have razor-sharp tusks, a single warthog against a pack of wild dogs will not make it. When a warthog comes across a pack of dogs, it is aware of this and will not interact with them. It dashes away, and it dashes away quickly. However, digging a trench and going into defense mode may not be enough to thwart the attack of these brilliant predators. These dogs will exhaust the warthog, and if it drops its guard for even a few seconds, they will jump on the occasion and it will be game over. When a pack of wild dogs comes looking for it in a small waterhole, this unsuspecting warthog finds himself in hot water. As they drag the animal to the ground, the dogs pull it out of the water and dismember it. I adore how sensitive, considerate wild dogs are. They're so tactful when they snatch a prey to eat it. They should get the award for best sportsmanship. Hunger drives wild dogs to attack and eat anything in their warpath, which frequently includes warthogs. It's unfortunate for the animals who are being attacked, but that's how the game goes. The strength of wild dogs is they always attack in numbers, so they can use many different strategies when they target a prey, which allows them to be the most successful hunters in the bush. Number 10. Wild dog versus Sesame. The dogs tugged in different directions, gulping down every piece of meat they could get their mouths on, and the show didn't last long in this video. The pain must have been excruciating for the animal, but I'm guessing the dogs didn't mind as long as they were eating. They pierced right through the animal's stomach, causing his entrails to spill out, and the animal was doomed. The Sesame is apprehended right away and learns all about wild dogs. It is being ganked from all sides and doesn't have time to react, let alone flee. It's all for nothing, no matter how hard it tries. Consider being born in a world where you're drop-shipped in the middle of nowhere and almost everyone regards you as food or competition. It's a harsh world out there. Number 9. Wild dog versus honey badgers. This is an intriguing matchup. 2 honey badgers versus 4 wild dogs. What happens next? Honey badgers are already known to be psychotic, so I'm not sure how they'll handle a pack of wild dogs. The badgers are serious about their business, even though the dogs appear to be having fun. As the badgers charge, the dogs flee. The dogs are aware that the badgers can bite, but two of them are rolling in the grass while the other two annoy the badgers. The badgers eventually leave, and the dogs exchange puzzled looks. It's perplexing how wild dogs can dismember a massive antelope in seconds, but struggle to handle a 30-pound honey badger. I guess these dogs weren't that hungry, and they probably weren't even looking to hunt. They just found the badgers cute and wanted to play with them. When three wild dogs approach a lone honey badger, it does not flee. It confronts the invaders while fleeing for safety. He's outmanned and outsized, but the wild dogs regard him as a formidable adversary. They know if they attack it, even if they're capable of killing it, they'll come out of the fight scraped and bruised, and they don't consider it's worth it. Another honey badger is being pursued by a pack of wild dogs. The badger is never attacked by the dogs. They just go along with it, possibly looking for a weak spot. They are aware, however, of the honey badger's irrationality and aggression, so they are on guard and don't insist too much. Number 8. Wild dog versus sandbar deer. These D-holes are attempting to steal a baby sandbar, but Mama is fighting back. The D-holes persist, and the battle becomes one of endurance and tenacity. The D-holes get a bite here and there, and the mother almost charges into them on occasion. When Mama turns around, the D-holes let go of the baby. It doesn't look good for the calf, and I doubt the D-holes will stop until they've kidnapped the calf. The mother is doing a good job, but the calf appears exhausted and ready to give up, and the mother is most likely following in the same footsteps. A pack of D-holes surrounds a sandbar deer as it visits a watering hole. The sandbar deer screams for help right away when the D-holes grab it. When it realizes it is in serious trouble, it will occasionally make a loud call. Things happen all the time in this crazy world. The drama begins after more than an hour of struggle, when the D-holes take turns attacking the deer until it tires out and is unable to fight back. Everything was meticulously planned by the D-holes, who are seasoned hunters. They'd cover the entire area, with 4 of them stationed at each corner to keep the deer at bay. Finally, the sandbar deer yielded, and they mercilessly devoured it alive. Wild photographers were snapping photos of an owlet on the dam side of a wildlife sanctuary when they heard screams from another animal. They muttered and reversed their vehicles, thinking it could have been a tiger killing a dog. To their surprise, the D-holes had grabbed the sandbar deer's neck and were attempting to strangle it. It screamed and struggled, but the D-holes did not stop their carnage. The photographers considered shooing the dogs away, cursing the sandbar for its stupidity, but were forced to bow in the face of nature's cruelty. Number 7. Wild dog versus hyena. These two hyenas are trying to steal a kill made by a pack of wild dogs, but the dogs will not give up their kill that easily, even if it means fighting two hyenas. Everyone knows how resilient hyenas are, but wild dogs have numbers on their side, and they battle hard. The dogs attack from all sides and get their kill back, and boy do they eat as fast as possible, so the hyenas don't bother them anymore. Hyenas and wild dogs often fight for carcasses, so this is a common occurrence in the bush. This hyena finds herself in trouble when a pack of wild dogs attacks it close to a water hole. The hyena remains there until things calm down, but the dogs are always present. This hyena must be hurt badly for it to remain on the ground this way. These hyenas want some of that meat, but the dogs don't want to share. The victim's body is being torn to shreds by the two enemies, each pulling the carcass its way. The hyena pulls from a weaker position in the water as the horde of dogs pull towards the land. The dogs are too numerous, and with all the strength on their side, they retain their kill. Number 6. Wild dog versus puku. A group of tourists on a safari in South Luangwa National Park saw a herd of puku running, and their guide told them they were being chased by a pack of wild dogs. They caught and killed one in the distance before deciding to kill another one in front of their vehicle. A truly horrifying sighting. Mother Nature can be so cruel. The poor puku did suffer because it was only attacked by 2 dogs, so it died slowly and painfully. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will remain engraved in the minds of all that experienced it. Only one of these 2 wild dog bites the antelope after trapping it in a swamp. The other dog appears to be overheated and sits in the water for a brief moment before returning to the hunt to help his friend. The 2 dogs work well together and are able to subdue their antelope by biting it on both sides. The dogs finally open the antelope up and start eating. Number 5. Dogs versus goat. This little dog is very aggressive and chases these little goats. He picks one from the bunch and attacks it. He's joined by a second dog, and the 2 dogs are all over the goat. They mangle the poor little goat to death and then leave the premises. They look like 2 thieves that just committed a crime. Actually, they are literally two murderers on the run. This dog looks like a Dao, but I'm not sure. Nevertheless, it is choking and killing this goat. The dog gives the goat the coup de grace and it's all over. I have seen goats smash into many animals. I'm surprised it couldn't give a dog a better challenge. I'm well aware the dog is vicious and has a set of canines, but still, I was expecting more from the goat. Number 4. Wild dog versus antelope. This small antelope is trying to flee the clutches of a lone wild dog, but it's becoming increasingly difficult. When a second dog appears, you know the antelope is nearing the end of its life on Earth. It is now time to pray a few more times and hope for the best. This antelope meets death head-on when these wild dogs devour it quickly. Once the animal is on the ground, the dogs stick their snouts inside the antelope's belly and tear out whatever they can. Number 3. Dogs versus lizard. Watch this dog jump up in the air and snatch a lizard from a tree. Once he grabs the lizard, he's joined by a few friends and they destroy the lizard. This dog confronts a large lizard, but it doesn't attack it. The lizard swings its tail at the dog, warning it to not approach, and the dog seems to understand. It looks like a Dao, and it's taunting this lizard. The Dao is not being overly aggressive, and I guess it's because he's alone and the lizard is quite big. A second Dao joins him, but they don't do much. There's actually a carcass floating in the water, and both the lizard and the Daos want a piece of it. One of the Daos tries grabbing the lizard by the tail, but that doesn't work. Looks like the lizard gets closer to the carcass and now owns it. The Daos don't seem to insist or aggress the lizard. I guess they get it. This dog finds a small monitor lizard and the two engage in a fight. The lizard is extremely aggressive, but the dog's no pushover either. The fight is violent as both animals bite and scratch. The dog finally overpowers the lizard and kills it. Number 2. Wild dog versus buck. To avoid being eaten by these wild dogs, this bush buck uses the boulders as a protective barrier until the dogs get too close, at which point it dives into the water. But another dog is waiting on it on the other side, so it returns to the water and stays there. How long can the bush buck keep the dogs at bay? The dogs have all day, and all they can think about is eating, so it's not difficult to figure out. These two wild dogs are attempting to hold on to a buck. Both dogs are pulling on the buck's tail, attempting to stop it. The buck eventually falls to the ground, signaling the beginning of the end for the prey. I'm surprised only 2 wild dogs were able to take down this buck. This could not have been easy. A pack of about 25 wild dogs successfully hunts a female water buck at Jones's Dam in Kruger National Park in this video. This pack of wild dogs attempted to capture a female water buck, but she managed to hide behind a bush and keep the pack at bay until they lost interest and moved on to easier prey. On both occasions, the water buck dashed down to Jones's Dam, most likely in search of water to drink. The second victim tried the same thing, but she was not as lucky, and both she and her unborn calf were yanked down and devoured in a matter of seconds, as is common in Kruger National Park. Number 1. Wild dog versus rabbits. This poor rabbit isn't much of a meal for this pack of wild dogs, but they're going to eat it anyway. Food is food in the bush, and this could be an appetizer, or they could have already eaten, and this is dessert. In any case, the rabbit is cooked, fried, or roasted. Because rabbits are so small, they aren't the best prey for wild dogs, and feeding a pack of dogs takes a lot more than a small rabbit. For the time being, however, the dogs will take whatever they can get. I'm told wild dogs eat a lot of rabbits during Easter. I guess they know something I don't. These German shepherds have cornered a rabbit and are fighting over it. In all of this, I feel sorry for the rabbit because he is the one being torn apart by the 2 dogs. I don't like seeing animals being ripped to shreds like the ones we just saw, but I must admit that seeing wild dogs work together is quite impressive. For this countdown, I don't have a favorite. I'm just astounded by how these animals plan and carry out a hunt. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's it for our countdown of 15 wildest cruel hunting moments of wild dogs. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.